Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the wake of a deadly storm brought chaos and destruction, but residents at Sunshine Hills are grateful for community support. And a county that's all too familiar with storm damage and the recovery process is pulling together to help their neighbors in need.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, Mountain family. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this Tuesday, May 20th. It's 5:30 this morning, and it is time to check on in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal on this First Alert Weather Day. Megan, again, First Alert Weather Day. What do we have to expect? Any more storm chances in our area?
Yes, we have multiple rounds of storm chances for you today. Strong to severe storms pushing through as we're heading into the evening hours overnight and into your Wednesday. But for this morning, it's looking relatively calm, just seeing a little bit of rain as we're traveling just east of I-75 and just northwest of our region. We're seeing what will become our rain chances and storm chances later on today. Here's the look at those current temperatures. Right now we're seeing upper 60s as we travel more towards the southwest and upper 50s as you travel more towards the northeast. And this afternoon, well, we can expect overall 80s across the region, leading to a lot of energy for those storms as they head through. Here's a look at that forecast for the day. We'll hit that high temperature around that 3 o'clock mark. And again, storm chances will be persistent as we're heading overnight into the overnight hours. Amelia.
Thank you, Megan. Many in the Sunshine Hills neighborhood in Laurel County quickly discovered their homes were no more, despite losing so much. They're grateful about what has happened since. WYMT's Phil Pendleton.
In times like these, it's easy to focus on what was lost.
Because that was a brick home. There was a double wide that was right there.
But there's peace and comfort in what can be found.
Pages out of my son's baby booker over at the pet store in past Levi Jackson.
Some possessions were carried far away and found, but many say the biggest blessing of all,
they said that they felt this wall here come down,
is that they're still alive.
The Lord just had his hand just right over top, you know, he just laid them gently on us and right
Wilson
there.
say moments after hearing the warnings on TV, they cornered in a hallway. They believe the quick action saved their lives.
And the roof lifted off and the walls just fell like that on top of us. Probably what saved us.
On a typical Monday, this neighborhood would likely be a very quiet place. There would not be much activity going on at all, but today it has been abuzz with activity, and some of that help is coming from complete strangers, helping them find things they feared were long gone or simply did not survive.
Even we found the animal still alive. The bird in its crushed cage was still alive. The cat and the dog was still alive.
The house turned into a pile of debris, but people say they will build back here because this is the only home they've ever known.
Well, his mom and dad built this house in '79, and they helped build the church that's over there that's gone.
Maybe gone now, but they say it will return one day. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
One family told us after that tornado passed and it was still raining, they found shelter in a church that was reduced to only its basement, but they say it was shelter enough. On North Main Street in London, the Old London Market is now a donation warehouse. Dennis Herman is the CEO of the London Laurel County Chamber of Commerce. Herman says they're sorting clothes, baby necessities, food, and hygiene products. She says they've got plenty of water, so they're looking for a variety of drinks to hand out to volunteers and tornado victims.
We have a lot of tarps here, but we could always use more tarps, and we could always use more totes so they could store whatever they could find from their home.
Herman says monetary donations can be made to the United Way of Laurel County. Part of that long-term need is giving displaced people in Laurel County housing. If you would like to help recovery efforts, the Laurel County Sheriff's Office released a list of different places that you can donate. Pulaski County was also hit hard by some of that severe weather on Friday night into Saturday morning. And right now, a number of people there are wondering what their next steps should be after a tornado turns their lives upside down. But someone who's already making plans to help put the pieces back together is Doug Couch, the pastor of a church that was hit by the tornado. Alyssa Williams checked in.
Redeemer Lutheran Church in Somerset has been a second home for many since the late 60s, but now the building that usually serves as a beacon of worship and fellowship sits torn apart.
It's been hard. Our older folks in particular, they're grieving, and as I am, I've cried numerous times this week.
Doug Couch is the pastor here. He says from the fellowship hall to the sanctuary, the church is a total loss.
We had a grand piano here in this corner, and it picked it up, blew it over top of the pews, and it landed upside down on the platform. So it gives you an idea of the strength of the wind.
Through all of the wreckage here, Doug says something miraculous is that the cross on the front of the fellowship hall here is completely untouched. He says he hopes that this can serve as a guiding light for people all throughout this area, that things are going to be okay.
You know, small communities like this find their strength in their support of one another, and that's what makes us, I think, in Kentucky very unique, because we can count on one another in the midst of storms.
Couch says he hopes to rebuild the church in the same spot and that they can start the rebuilding process as soon as possible.
We're also resilient people, and we know that you don't quit. You got to keep going, and you either walk off or you keep walking. And so we're going to keep walking.
In Pulaski County, Alyssa Williams, WKYT.
Couch says in the meantime, a local funeral home is allowing them to host church services there. And it wasn't just people in Pulaski and Laurel counties affected by the weekend storms. Folks in Hart County and South Central Kentucky were also impacted, some losing basic necessities after their homes were destroyed. Hart County Veteran Committee President Derek McClure started gathering donations and delivering things he thought would be needed.
Didn't really know what they needed at the time because nobody was reporting anything, but just kind of figured that what would I want if my house was just destroyed. So we loaded up the clothing that we had, water, gasoline.
Once finding out how bad some of the damage was, McClure and his committee set out to see if they could help in other ways. The committee plans to keep donations open and save them for the future, just in case anyone might need them. The London Police Department is taking up donations for people who were impacted. Officers say they're accepting several items like baby food, toilet paper, paper towels, trash bags, batteries, and more. You can find a full list of those accepted items on our website, WYMT.com. And of course, we also have details on many other resources as well as donation sites and other relief items on our website and the WYMT News app. And here are some places folks can go if they need a meal or a shower. Police in Laurel County say there will be shower and laundry and mobile units at the London Walmart available every day from 9 until 5. A Colorado-based company, Emergency RV, is providing temporary and transitional housing in the form of RVs for people affected. They're located next to CHI St. Joseph Health London Hospital. They were there yesterday and will also be there today. The Don Franklin Auto Group is helping in the recovery efforts too. They say all 28 of their locations will be drop-off locations for any supplies needed for tornado relief victims. They say they're also providing free tire repairs for first responders, aiding with cleanup efforts at 3 different locations. The one in Somerset, in London, and also the one that is. Flood survivors in Pike County are still working to recover, but many folks are still finding ways to donate to their neighbors in need. The East Kentucky Dream Center in Pikeville and Jones Oil Company in Coal Run are accepting donations for tornado relief efforts, collecting needed items to deliver to people impacted by the deadly weekend tornado. Organizers for each donation station say the most needed items are hygiene products, baby supplies, outdoor tools and gear, water, and food, saying flood survivors know what they needed in the aftermath, and many people in the impacted area will need even more.
Put yourself in their shoes. If you come home and you have nothing but a floor left, what do you need immediately? And that's what those folks there need. We know all too well what happened here 3 months ago with the flooding.
We have a list of donation sites for the Dream Center and Jones Oil on our website, WYMT.com. State police are investigating a murder in Jackson County. Troopers received a call from the sheriff's office on Sunday about a man found dead inside a vehicle in McKee. In their preliminary findings, troopers say James Carmack of Irvine sustained a deadly gunshot wound from someone who left the scene. Police have not identified the suspect. They say if you have any information about this case, you can call KSP Post 7 at 859-623-2404. Folks in Kentucky are being asked to step up and support some of the state's most vulnerable children by volunteering with the Citizens Foster Care Review Boards. 26 counties are in urgent need of volunteers to review cases of children placed in foster care due to neglect, abuse, or dependency. These include several counties in eastern Kentucky. More information about applying can be found on the Kentucky Court of Justice website. In Johnson County, the Paintsville pool is finally expected to be open to the public this summer. The pool has been shut down for the past several years. Paintsville Mayor Bill Mike Runyon says after hitting multiple setbacks over the past few years, trying to get it back open, they're expecting it to finally reopen this summer.
We're extremely excited. This project's been ongoing now for about 4 or 5 years, and we're just tickled to death to get it possibly wrapped up and get kids in this pool swimming.
They did hope to be able to open by Memorial Day weekend, but learned the pool inspector and consultant would not be available in the area until the following week. So an official opening day has not yet been announced. It's 5.